Hi, everybody. My name is Ozan, and today I will be talking about the Synthesis Paper Jam that I created, which is an AI tool. So let me dive right into what I'd like to talk about. So our students are already using GenAI to write, and it's not their own writing, right? So it's their generated answers. So the question is no longer whether they will use it. The question is whether what they do with it counts as learning. That is the problem I built this small tool to address. So this is called the SPS 101 Synthesis Paper Jam, right? And it's a custom Gemini agent I designed for one assignment in our first year academic writing course at Sabancı University, which is the synthesis paper, two or three readings, a conversation between them, the student's own argument inside the conversation, and it is one of the hardest things we ask of first year students. So the jam is built around four principles drawn from universal design for learning, Socratic dialogue, cognitive scaffolding, and our department's writing standards, right? But the more important thing about it is what it refuses to do. It will not draft a paragraph. It will not name a thesis. If a student asks it to, the request comes back as a question. So the jam is defined more by its refusals than by its outputs. And those refusals are hard coded into its system instructions. Um, so I use the jam in the class and outside class. Students arrive with reading notes and a rough thesis. They work with the jam for 15 minutes or less than 15 minutes while move between tables or between students. And sometimes I get them to get feedback on their written work and reflect on their writing together in groups, right? They also use it for outside class for self-study. What I've noticed is that the conversations students have with it are not about getting answers. They're about being made to clarify what they actually mean. More than once, a student has come to me after a session and said the jam made them realize their argument was thinner than they had thought. The revision then becomes their own. And this this is all built inside the tool itself as per the instructions I had provided with the tool. So um, how did I, you know, come to build it? I built it because I kept watching students use general purpose chatbots in ways that were not conducive to learning, and because no individual teacher can give 30 students iterative, class-based feedback in real time. And building is not programming. So it's writing a long, careful instruction in natural language that defines what the agent does, what it refuses to do, and what it knows about the course. The interface takes a few hours to learn. Writing instructions that produce something pedagogically useful took me several weeks of iteration, and it's still ongoing. So you always come back and forth um, on the tool. You try it, you ask feedback from students, and the skill in the tool is pedagogical clarity uh, in writing. It's not technical at all. So among my colleagues, like the tool was contested, and well, reasonably so. And the worry is that scaffolding the formation of thought through a machine compromises the formation itself. So I take that seriously, and the gem manages that worry. It does not resolve it. Um, but the deeper thing I want to leave you with is this. Um, the story we're told about Gen AI as a story of time saved. In my own practice, the more I use these tools, the less true that becomes. AI has reallocated my time, not reduced it. Feedback that used to be a short comment is now a structured document because it is possible. Planning that used to be a page is now a full handout with an answer key because it is possible. The possible becomes expected, and the expected becomes normal. So there's a very fine line between normalizing the use of AI and keeping what is through to yourself, as in time for yourself, um, psychological, restructuring, psychological regeneration, whatever you may call it. Um, so within the context of all this, what we could say is that the time doesn't return to the teacher. It is absorbed upward into higher output norms. So the labor is less mechanical and more interpretive. Better work, but it doesn't mean less work. So we should stop pretending otherwise, and we should be very careful. We should be very careful with using these tools and prioritizing pedagogy and learning itself over effectiveness and efficiency. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you can send me an email at ozan.tekin@sabancıuniv.edu. Thank you.